Welcome once again. From our previous videos, there was something I forgot to mention under the properties of a sweet. There is something we call like a sweet that is strictement croissant and a sweet that is strictement décroissante. When we say a sweet is strictement croissant, it's almost like when we say the sweet is croissant, like what we already had, like pour toute n appartient à grand n, un plus 1 est supérieur ou égal à un. We know that this is when a sweet is said to be what? Croissant. Now when we say a sweet is strictement croissant, what we're trying to say is that pour toute n appartient à n, un plus 1 est strictement superior. You can see the difference. This is superior or equal, greater than or equal to, where this one is strictement superior à un. This is when the sweet is said to be strictement croissant. Then the same applies for when it is strictement décroissant. Here we have un plus 1 inférieur égal à un. We said that it's a sweet that is what? Décroissant. Now if we say the sweet is strictement décroissant, we say un plus 1 strictement we need to take note of this. It's very important. Un, that means it is strictement décroissant. So now for our video for today, we'll be giving examples. Like I felt it's it will be necessary for us to look at some examples that are contained like in what we have done so far. What have we done so far? We've done the definition of a sweet, we've looked at its properties, we've looked at its operations. So now we're going to apply what we've learned in various examples. So now we're no longer in course, we're now in TD. So we have an example. Let's start. We're asked that we have a suite de thème général un, which is equal to 1 over n plus 2, lorsque n est supérieur ou égal à 0. Now we are asked, and of course n appartient à n, and we are asked to show if this suite is majorée or minorée. How are we going to go about it? Now we know that n is greater than or equal to 0, right? Now since n is greater than or equal to 0, it's, how will I put this down? It's like we are going to gather this suite un together as we go on. I think it will be clear. Now we have n greater than or equal to 0. Look at this n like this n. Okay, so now we have n greater than or equal to 0. So now I have n plus 2 greater than or equal to, whatever I do here, I have to do it to the other side. So if I bring in this plus 2 to this place, it also means that, so this implies that n plus 2 will be greater than or equal to 0 plus 2, because whatever I do here, I must do it to the other côté. So this also implies, like if n plus 2, that is n plus 2, or this would be an equivalent, n plus 2 is greater than or equal to 2. Now there is something we do like when we want to put it in the form of fraction. The inégalité sign, which is this greater than or equal to, we change to inférieur ou égal, which is less than or equal to. So in this case, if I want to make it to be in this form, okay, it means I have to put it do the same thing here, and whatever I do here, remember I have to do it here. So this will implique 1 over n plus 2. And what did I say before? Since I've put it in the form of fraction, I have to look at the inequality sign, which is also very important. And so instead of it to be superior ou egal this time, it will be inferior ou egal à 1 over 2. So at this point, what have we gotten? We have seen that un is less than or equal to 1 over 2. And what was our initial definition of let's look at the suite majorée and the suite minorée and look at the one that applies to what we have done. We remember that a suite majorée is a suite that il existe grand M appartient à R tel que petit n appartient à n, un est inférieur ou égal à grand M. This is for when it is what? Majorée. When it is minorée, we say il existe un petit m appartient à grand L tel que petit n appartient à n, un is superior or equal à petit m. This is when we say is what? Minorée. Now what have we observed? We've seen that un est inférieur ou égal à n demi. Which of these two definitions apply to this case? We've seen that it is this first one, meaning m is equal to n demi. If we've seen it like that's why it's very important. First and foremost, this is what they're asking you to solve. Put down your definition. In that way, my professor used to say, before you start, write down the definition. What are they telling you to prove? What are they telling you to montrer? And with that, because as you're going, like, if that I don't know the definition of this, I'll get to this point and I'm like, okay, what's next? What am I supposed to do next? But because the definition is there that when I have a suite in this way, I can prove it like this. And when I arrive at this point, I found my m, my grand term or my petit term. In this case, my grand term, which is what? N demi. So yes, this suite is majorée. So what can we say? We can say donc pour tout n appartient à n, ok? Pour tout n appartient à n, un is less than or equal to n demi. La suite, okay, let's see. La suite un égale à n sur n plus 2 est majorée par n demi. That's what we're asked to prove. So in our next tutorial, we're going to look at other examples on exactly on what we have been doing so far. So see you in the next video. I hope you've been able to understand this, and not just understand it, but get to understand it well. Thank you.